What's up, guys? Today's video is not only about how supplements are a waste of your money, but how they are also negatively impacting your health through things like dehydration, making you allergic to milk, and then these companies putting sketchy things in it just to basically make more money. Now, to start with supplements, we need to start with the definition of a supplement. So, the definition of a supplement is something that is to be added to something else in order to complete or enhance it. Now, let me make sure this is in the right place. So, a thing that is added to something else in order to complete or enhance it. Now, many people in gym culture use supplements as the cornerstone of their nutrition. Like if you go into any gym, you see all the gym bros in there walking in with their blender bottles full of protein, and then immediately after their workout, they're drinking it. And then I used to be there. I used to think that, as long as I got my protein shake after my workout, I was going to gain muscle and get bigger, when this couldn't be further from the truth. And this is something that the bodybuilders that actually promote these supplements hide from you, is that they don't rely on these supplements to feed them. They rely on whole foods. Now, those whole foods are chicken, rice, and broccoli, which aren't optimal, but they are still relying on whole foods for the majority of their carbs, proteins, and fats. And they're only adding in supplements in order to enhance or complete their already whole foods diet. Okay, so get that into your head. Supplements is not the cornerstone, it's something to be added to a whole foods diet. Now, let's get into why these supplements are bad for you. Because these supplement companies lie about what's in their product. So, something you should know is that the FDA doesn't verify what's in these supplements. So, regular food like steak, eggs, even Oreos, chips, they're all verified by the FDA, and these foods are sent into the FDA, and the FDA actually tests these foods. They put them in a caloric machine to test how many calories they have. They test how much fats they have, how many vitamins they have in each of these foods. With supplements, you do not get this. They are not regulated by any industry. It's literally the supplement company slapping onto the nutrition label whatever they think is in there or whatever they say is in there. And some of them will get a third party tested, but they're paying for these tests. So these companies are obviously going to give them a favorable test. And you can see even if they send them to a third party company, these supplement companies know ways around this testing. These guys, they're big corporations. They're going to lie to you and try and make as much money as possible. Now, they lie about the protein or the creatine content, and companies have even been found putting in illegal ingredients in their products. Now, the biggest company to be found recently was the USPlabs. They were caught lying by misrepresenting the ingredients in their protein supplements and claiming falsely that there wasn't a stimulant called DMAA, which is a natural plant extract, but it's basically like meth. It's basically like Adderall. And I've taken DMAA, but this wasn't a pre workout. And USPlabs got caught putting this into a protein powder. Now, this DMAA, it's literally like meth or an Adderall. Like it gets you hyped up, ready to go to the gym, but it crashes you. And the reason these supplement companies put this in is because they're getting you like micro addicted to the product. Because before I knew what DMAA was, I literally loved this pre workout and I was always buying it because at the gym I was like, oh, like I was methed out at the gym. Like my teeth were chattering there. I was ready to lift. I felt so good. But then when I came back after my workout, I had the worst crash ever and I was depressed. And looking back on it, it was such a bad like cycle. And that's why my Gym Tan Beef Blueprint is all about, losing weight, getting your best physique while skyrocketing your natural dopamine. It's about building natural dopamine loops that are going to get you addicted to natural things. So going to the gym, exercising every day is actually going to release natural dopamine and serotonin. And if you do that long term, then you build that positive dopamine loop with the gym. And now I used to need caffeine. I used to need pre-workout to go to the gym. But now I've built that long-term positive dopamine loop with the gym that I just like exercise for the sake of exercise. And then tan in gym tan beef is the same way. Like when you go out in the sun, your body actually releases dopamine and serotonin because sun exposure is good for your body. Your body will always reward itself when you do something good for your body. So, tan, again, another positive dopamine loop. You get out in the sun, you release dopamine and serotonin, you're getting that vitamin D, you're getting the circadian rhythm production, or you're setting your circadian rhythm. And then beef is a little harder because by eating nutrient dense foods, you find out long term that you feel better, that you look better, you're building more muscle, you're getting more shredded, so you build that like long term dopamine loop. But that's enough about gym tan beef and positive dopamine loops. But this is a negative dopamine loop that these supplement companies know what they're getting you into. They're trapping you. They're like drug dealers trying to get you addicted to their pre-workout powder. So they're literally sprinkling in a little bit of meth in there. And I was a victim of it. So don't fall for it. Now, when I was saying that these supplement companies, even if they lie about what's on the label, they also, when they send it for testing, like let's say someone else were to test it without their permission and then do an exposed video on YouTube, they actually have found out a way to make it look like there's more protein in their supplements. And this is called amino spiking. So these companies add cheap amino acids such as glycine, taurine, and then they'll add in other fillers like creatine. And they're basically like drug dealers cutting their products. So like it when so Coke dealers, when they sell Coke to people, they'll literally cut it with baking soda or another white or baby powder, something white, because that makes their product spread longer, right? They're able to sell more, make more money off of a smaller amount of product. And that's what processed food companies do with seed oils. They literally use seed oils to stretch their product out. Like they're no better than drug dealers. And supplement companies are the same way. They're putting in these cheap fillers that are going to cause you that just stretches their product further and makes them more money in the long run. So don't trust all these sketchy companies. Like at least when you eat a steak, you know exactly what's in there and you know that you're not getting a stretched out product. So um, when they use amino spiking, this is just used when they do third party testing to artificially inflate the nitrogen content of the product, which is used in standard lab tests to determine the total amount of protein. So really where this would work out is, let's say I brought I bought 10 protein powders and then I sent them into an independent lab and I said test all of these protein powders. When most protein powders that have been tested have actually been found out to have less than half the amount of protein that's actually in the powder. Now, keep in mind, that's when they go to third party labs tested by, like, if I sent them in. Now, a lot of them use this amino spiking, so there's even less than half of that. And they're smart. They know what they're doing. Like these companies are multi-million dollar companies. They're not dumb. And if you guys are familiar with VW, the car manufacturer, they literally got caught doing this with gas mileage. Like they would send in their cars, um, or they rigged the computers so when the electronic test would be run on the gas mileage, the computers would literally just spit out code that would change the gas mileage, and they were sued for this. But my point is that multiple companies do this. Like these companies are smart. They know what they're doing. They know how to rip you off and they know how to make money off of you. So let's go into the next point here. So the next point is that when these supplements are made, they are denatured and these isolated molecules are just not in their natural state. And see, your body is not made to take in food like that. Because see, when they make whey protein is actually a thing because it's a byproduct from making cheese. So when they make cheese, they let the milk sit there. It turns into like a cheese curd. And then what you're left with is kind of a cleary milk, and that's actually whey. And then they dehydrate that whey into a powder. And what this does is it actually destroys delicate bioavailable sub fractions like immunoglobulins and lactoferrins in whey. And these are present in raw whole foods. And these sources are critical for your health benefits. And this really goes into the food matrix. So isolation from the food matrix, health benefits of food like milk don't come from protein alone, but from the synergistic effect of the entire food matrix. So all that means, putting that in simpler terms, is in nature, we developed to eat whole foods. So as humans were evolving, we were eating the whole animal. We were drinking all the milk. We weren't taking out bits and pieces, dehydrating food, just getting the whey protein. No, our bodies are meant to absorb food holistically, synergistically. And all these vitamins and nutrients together work synergistically, and you're going to get way more muscle growth and way more optimal health when you eat whole foods. And I mean, you can think about it this way. Use raw milk as the example. Like, many people think that they're lactose intolerant or they don't like milk is because they pasteurize the milk. So they kill all the beneficial enzymes in the milk, and then they end up getting sick when they eat pasteurized milk. And that's because it doesn't have the enzymes that natural milk would have, and therefore you're lactose intolerant. Um, but the same thing goes for a steak or whey protein. Like, you're meant to drink the whole milk, you're meant to eat the whole steak. Those B vitamins, the niacin, the creatine, the protein in the steak, it all works synergistically together. And your body knows how to actually utilize and process that food. It does not know how to utilize just whey protein that has been separated. Okay, remember, whey is a byproduct of cheese, and then you take that and you dehydrate it, and then that sits in a supplement warehouse for probably about 6 months, because by the time it's processed in China and then shipped to the supplement company warehouse in the US, and then it sits on a supplement shelf or it sits in an Amazon warehouse for a month or two, like, you're getting like month old food that's been just, losing nutrients. Like, even when you freeze a steak, or the longer a steak sits in a fridge, it loses nutrients. Like, nutrients just break down. So think what happens when you're burning that, dehydrating it, exposing it to heat, and then storing it long term. And then that's the other thing. When you're literally dehydrating this food, you're exposing it to heat. And think about it this way: fire destroys anything else in this world. If I were to expose my phone to fire, it wouldn't work anymore, right? But somehow, when you do that to food, it magically preserves it. No, it doesn't make sense. And we're going to get into this because I had some personal effects with whey protein that prove this. Now, whey protein has been proven to cause digestive stress and leaky gut. And this is because in whey protein, even non-allergic individuals have experienced low-grade inflammation from the concentrated proteins like whey, soy, or gluten, which is in some of the cheaper blends. Remember, they're like drug dealers. They're cutting their product with filler. So they'll add in gluten, they'll add in soy. Some whey protein companies have even been caught adding in sawdust, basically. So this constant low level immune response is theorized to damage your gut lining over time. And so my personal experience with this is, in high school, I would buy those big, like 5 pound bags of whey protein. And I forget the brand, but it was just like the cheapest brand at Costco. And after about a month of drinking that, I would literally drink it and then get a stomach ache. And then after a month of getting the stomach ache, so 2 months in, I would drink it and then I'd throw up. And then literally for 2 weeks, I would drink that and throw up every time after I drink it. So I'd go work out after school and then I'd hop in my car, chug my protein shake, and then I'd have to open my door on my way home and throw up out the window. I feel bad for my sister because she was always in the car, but it was disgusting. And I was literally so dumb at that time. I was like, it's a supplement. It can't be the supplement. The supplement is good for me. Like, that's how brainwashed I was. Like, if you're out there thinking protein's good for you, I was brainwashed just like you. Like, I was in your shoes. I was a basic gym bro. I'm going to admit it. But I literally thought because it's a health supplement, it couldn't be doing negative damage to me. So literally for 2 weeks, after every time I would drink it, I would throw up. And then I finally realized, oh, maybe it's the fucking protein powder. And then when I stopped drinking it, guess what? I stopped throwing up. So what happened to me? I developed a long-term whey allergy because I was eating this freaking bullshit whey protein powder. It literally destroyed my gut. And that was what my body was telling me is stop eating this shit. Like, this shit is poison. Stop eating it. And it literally took something as extreme as me throwing up every time I drink it to make me stop. Like, I didn't listen to the stomach aches. I didn't even listen to the throw up for 2 weeks. But your body is smart enough to tell you to stop taking that shit. And the same thing would happen with me when I would take pre-workout is it wouldn't make me throw up, but it would make me sick, like a rock was sitting in my stomach. And when I would go and work out, I would just, like, you guys know when you take pre-workout, like, you might feel good in the gym, but your stomach doesn't feel good. And that's your body trying to tell you something. Your body's trying to tell you, like, hey, stop putting this crap in my body. Because I don't know, even want to get into the ingredients in pre-workout. You guys know how bad pre-workout is for you. I don't think there's anyone out there defending pre-workout. Even what's the one from Optimum Nutrition? They say it's natural. The caffeine's from green tea extract, amino energy. Like, they say it's natural. That is not a natural pre-workout. It's full of chemicals like artificial flavors, artificial sweeteners, plenty of chemicals. But over time, your body develops this immune response that tells you, hey, stop fucking taking this. This is why you always have to change your pre-workout because your stomach starts hurting. You think you just get tired from it, like tired of the taste, but your body's actually telling you, like, hey, stop fucking taking this. And all you do is replace that with a new pre-workout. And then after a month of that, your body says, I'm tired of this, stop fucking taking it. But you're not getting the hint that it's not the flavor, it's the pre-workout, it's the chemicals that your body's trying to avoid. So, other than linking gut, what supplements cause is renal stress. And this is why. So, the body can process protein, but at great cost. So, consuming 50 to 60 grams of protein in a single shake is really an unnatural load for your liver and for your kidneys. So, the liver has to work overtime to determine or to get rid of that massive influx of amino acids, and the kidneys also have to filter out the resulting urea and nitrogen waste. So all that's saying is again, you're taking away the natural delivery aspect of protein. So if you're eating a steak, you're going to process that food through your intestines. Even if you're eating a piece of chicken, it's better than eating, or it's better than a supplement, because you're processing that through your intestines and your body knows what to do with that. Rather than a protein powder, you're literally turning like a protein into water, drinking that, and then shoving it through your kidneys. And you do the same thing with these pre-workout chemicals. It's like, it's really no better than drinking alcohol. Like, you're drinking all these chemicals and then flushing them through your kidneys and your liver. And like, people all the time will talk about how oral steroids are so bad for you, but yet they're still taking pre-workout that's probably just as bad as oral steroids. Well, probably not as bad, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like, all these chemicals being flushed through your liver, Like, look at the back of your pre-workout and look what's in it. It's all like methyl dioxide, 123 BXY. Like, you really think we're meant to eat that? Um, but yeah, all these supplements are just putting load on your kidneys and your liver. But protein is supposed to be processed through your intestines, not through your liver. And most of it is processed through your intestines when you do that. And these supplements are also going to cause dehydration. So this process requires significant water, leading to chronic dehydration if the fluid intake isn't proportional to the increased furthering the stress on the kidneys. So the claim isn't that protein causes kidney disease in healthy people, but it places unnecessary stress on these organs that wouldn't occur from eating proteins from whole foods throughout the day. So again, like I was saying, when you're eating a steak, it's processed through your small intestine. When you're eating chicken, when you're eating anything, it's processed through your intestines. That's how we were made. That's how we evolved to process protein through our intestines, not through our kidneys, not through our livers. We're made to process these foods through our intestines. And when they go through your liver and your kidneys, this is actually going to dehydrate you more. And I'm sure if you're taking creatine, you know that you have to drink more water. They're pretty clear about that. But no one tells you when you're drinking protein powder that you should be drinking more water. Um, and just think about it this way, like, if you're eating a whole steak, you're actually getting structured water in that steak. That's why I prefer to eat raw meat or raw beef, sometimes raw fish, raw pork, and raw eggs. But cooking is just as good as well. But it's because there's more water in there, and that's actually structured water that your body knows how to use. So basically, it's naturally connected to the vitamins. It's more natural. Like, your body knows how to process the water better, and the water is connected to those vitamins and nutrients. It's better, it's more nutrient available to your body. So instead of processing, and so I guess the point I was trying to make is that when you cook it, you're taking the water out, right? And now when you have a process like whey protein, where you're literally dehydrating the protein powder, making it so dry it turns to dust. Like, it's you're literally taking whey, which is like a watery form, and then you're dehydrating it, turning it into dust. So you're probably getting the amount of milk that is in like one protein shake. Like, think, if you ever look at the protein in milk, in 20 grams of protein would probably be two of these bottles, like 2 liters. So you're taking 20 grams of protein and then you're putting that into 8 ounces of water when you really need a liquid amount of about 2 liters of water. So again, that's just undue stress on your kidneys. Um, but I think I made the point on that. Now, if you guys are like me and you were going through the same thing, like you're a basic gym bro and you need help coming off of supplements and how to go to a whole foods diet, that's what I specialize in. That's what my Gym Tan Beef Blueprint is all about: living a holistic lifestyle while still packing on muscle, getting you shredded, but causing that with positive dopamine loops. So you no longer need the pre-workout, you no longer need these crappy supplements. But I do offer one-on-one coaching. So if you need help replacing supplements with whole foods and how to optimize that, you can schedule a coaching qualification call with me in the description below. But if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments. I can't wait to answer them. If you have time for another video, YouTube thinks that you'll like this video here the most next. But I hope you guys appreciate this. I love making longer form content like this, just so you kind of hear me without a bunch of cuts. But yeah, that's it on supplements, boys. Stay away from the protein powder. Stop wasting your money while killing your health. Stay away from the pre-workout supplements. Stop wasting your money while killing your health. At least drink some black coffee. That's all I had for you today, boys. Jim Tan Beef out.